Oh, all right then. What are you bugging me for? Oh, the story? All right then. Settle down. I said shut up! All right, there we go. So I'll tell you the old tale of the age of blood and fire. In the beginning. Yes, of course it's about goblins. It's about our beginning. Yeah, stop asking questions. In the beginning, we knew only enslavement. The one memory held as the new age began was servitude. To the tall ones, we were lesser, unworthy of making our own choices or freedom. The green tall ones, now known as orcs, were the harshest masters of all, beating and breaking any goblin who dared question them. We were used as cannon fodder in their tribal wars and traded like cattle in their treaties, a currency of flesh, taken one whip-lashing at a time. But there was one goblin who could not stand by. This hero of our people was a miracle sent to us by the flames. It is said that on the night of his birth, a second sun filled the dark sky, brilliant in its beauty, but terrifying as it hurtled towards the planet. This wrathful herald of the stars, announcing it was time for a new age. That baby would grow into the most powerful goblin spellcaster we have ever known. His true name, now lost to the ages. We remember him as the second son, herald of the flames and father of the age of blood and fire. He commanded all of the elements, but his greatest element was fire, rivaled only by the empowerment of his speech, for none had ever been strong enough to unite the people of the desert, burning his masters to ash, then calling the other goblins to arms. The revolution had begun. Uniting under a banner of a blazing sun on a field of navy and stars, the father's new clan began a war that would forever shape the eastern tundras. The age of blood and fire, as it's known, lasted many, many goblin lifetimes. What is a blink of the eye for the long-lived tall ones was over 10 generations of goblin bloodshed. So many of our kin died, great warrior deaths in that age. The war was spread across the east, one tribe at a time, each newly freed brother and sister joining the ranks to free their still enslaved kin. As the years passed, other small folk joined our mission, no longer able to stand by and be considered lesser races by the tall ones. With blood-soaked skin and blazing weapons, our former masters were scorched from the land. So overwhelmed by our numbers, the tall ones had grown tired of the war. Too many were lost on both sides to still consider their markets of flesh profitable. The tall ones sent emissaries to treat with us. Unfortunately, it took a few goes for the clans to realise we're not supposed to kill or eat them. But eventually, the treaty talks began. You may ask, who amongst the goblin kind would lead such talks? The answer is kind of obvious, really. It was the second son, herald of the flames and father of the new age of blood and fire. For though his great-grandchildren's bones had long turned to dust, he remained, unable to find rest until the last of his brethren breathed fresh air. Another lifetime of talking had passed. The peace treaties were agreed upon. the most important being. No goblin or small folk are to be held as slaves by the Tall One, save the wrath of all small folk shall descend upon them once more. For any other minutiae of these bargainings, go ask a gnome. Finally, our great father could rest, knowing that his beloved clan was safe. When his mission on earth was complete, he rose up to the heavens to be closer to the first sun, his beloved beacon of power and of life. Some say he is the great red star seen in the sky to the east, always brightest on the night of dark moon. Others say he became the moon, forever chasing the sun across the sky. Either way, he longs for its touch, trying to mate and spawn the coming of the third sun. It is prophesied. What? That means foretold. It means we think it's going to happen, okay? It is prophesied that a child born under a full eclipse will garner the same powers of the father, beginning a new age of blood and fire, heralding the rise or destruction of the goblin race.
This has caused a strange mating ritual amongst goblin kind. In the months prior to an eclipse, they devolve into a frenzied state of mating. The Ravagers, incomparable to any human courtship, all in hopes of being the sire of the next great goblin age. It is also believed that all goblins born of the magic can trace their lineage back to the father's great line. For more information, go ask a fucking gnome.